Hello. Welcome to my live. Answering questions about hypnosis, answering questions about anxiety, stress. Hello, answering questions about hypnosis, anxiety, stress, and how you can actually powerfully mitigate those things in your life with hypnosis. So I'm a board certified hypnotist, and I would love it if you are here with me, if you would just pop some questions in the chat. I would love to start answering questions. Hi everybody, I am a board certified hypnotist. What that means is I am a certified hypnotist that's taken additional training to make sure that I pass a very high level of proficiency and things like that. And what I do is I help people powerfully change their, get rid of and neutralize their stress and anxiety and become dangerously confident. So I am running a challenge on my channel right now, actually, where I'm doing a 20-day anti-anxiety challenge. And so if you want to pop over to my profile too, you can join that. I've posted about 6 videos, and each video covers a slightly different topic, from small mindfulness practices to binaural beats. And we're going to be doing other things as well, talking about affirmations, self-hypnosis, all sorts of amazing things that you can do to combat and get rid of anxiety and stress in your life. So let's recap kind of what I've been doing on my channel. So this, on the 10th, we started talking about anti-anxiety challenge. We are 6 days in. And so first, we talked about mindfulness. So I'm a board certified hypnotist. Thanks for joining me, everybody. And so mindfulness is just, mindfulness is a way to bring your focus away from what you don't want into something that you do want, a positive feeling or a positive memory or a positive something. And there's all sorts of ways to do mindfulness. My first couple videos on my channel right now, the most recent ones of our challenge, talk about anchoring good feelings in your body, so you can go and join that really short video and do that activity where you can anchor through a mindfulness practice a very powerful and positive feeling in your body. And then it's really powerful. You can practice it. This is an activity actually that I do with my clients that I work with one-on-one a lot. So you don't have to be in hypnosis to make this a really powerful practice. Ask me your questions, everybody. I'm just talking about mindfulness, stress, anxiety, and hypnosis. My name is Kimberly. I'm a board certified hypnotist. So the anchoring video, which is day 2 or 3, you might really want to check out on my channel. I just posted a couple days ago. You just close your eyes, begin to relax, do some deep breathing. Think of a happy time when you felt really relaxed, comfortable, and then we do a really cool activity where you anchor that feeling in the body through an external stimulus. Now, if you have ever studied psychology or had a sociology class, I wonder, hi everybody, if you've learned about Dr. Ivan Pavlov. Dr. Ivan Pavlov proved that you can change the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. You can train them. And he developed an experiment where he rang a bell and then he gave some food to some dogs. And over time, the dogs began to associate the ringing of the bell to, nope, we're not going to do any today, but thanks. He rang the bell and then gave the dogs food. Over time, they began to associate the ringing of the bell with the food. So even if they weren't hungry, even if they'd just eaten, when Dr. Ivan Pavlov rang the bell, what happened was the dogs would begin to salivate, and salivation is under the power of the unconscious mind. So he proved that you can reprogram the stimulus that creates a response in the body. And that's all that hypnosis does. So even in mindfulness, just in a light state of hypnosis, which is really what a mindfulness practice is going to be like, you're just going to close your eyes and imagine something. What happens is you begin to connect two things in time. So in that day 3 video, sorry, I'm getting updates and they confuse me. So this is one of my first times doing live. Thank you. So what happens when you connect that really powerful feeling in that video that I've posted, and you do the anchoring motion with your fingers, is you connect those two things in time, just like Ivan Pavlov connected the bell with the morsel of food, and it changes the meaning of something. Hello, happy Black History Month to you too, Elsie. I am happy to celebrate Black History Month. Thank you for joining me. I like to try and follow lots of Black creators, and I am really happy that we are celebrating that this month. January, just so everybody knows, we have a day, January 4th. It's called World Hypnosis Day. So we celebrated hypnosis in January, and now in February, Black History Month. Thank you. So an anchoring mindfulness activity where you're only in a very light state of hypnosis, you can actually really powerfully begin to reprogram your subconscious mind to give you what you want, to change the expectation. And see, what happens with anxiety in the body is that it becomes a memorized response. So anxiety begins small. I like to tell my clients that anxiety is sort of like a cavity. Once it begins, it just begins to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger until you do something about it. And anxiety is just like that. If you experience anxiety in your life and then you don't do anything about it, it tends to just grow and grow and grow, and it becomes an autopilot. And it doesn't stay small, it doesn't stay contained, it just grows and it grows and it grows. And so if you have anxiety, you really need to do something about it, because otherwise it'll just keep growing on you and get worse. And so that's what the whole idea of my 20-day anxiety challenge that's going on my channel right now is that we begin to do something different to help and guide our subconscious minds into changing the autopilot response to a stimulus. So what can you do about it? Well, there's lots of, thanks you, Valley Girl. There's lots of different ways to change the subconscious. Well, I said that wrong. Let's say there's only 2 basic ways to change the subconscious mind, right? There's long-term reinforcement, which we know as classical conditioning, and there's hypnosis, which is basically instantaneously. So a lot of times what happens is people will go to therapy and or do all sorts of things like cognitive behavioral therapy and do meds. I am pro therapy. I am pro meds when it's needed. But it doesn't fix the problem. It takes a long time to change the response. In hypnosis, though, you can do it instantaneously. And about 40 years ago, in 1971, they actually did a study, and they found out that people who went to a hypnotist for things like anxiety would get better in about 6 sessions. So if you go to weekly sessions, which is what I do, in about 6 weeks, and after the very first session, you're going to feel different. And then they did the other half of the study where they studied people in therapy, and they found out that they had to go to 600 sessions to deal with their thing like anxiety. And so hypnosis is the way to overcome that natural resistance that we have. Everybody has a natural resistance to change, and it's very hard to change your subconscious programming. So hypnosis is really fast, but you can start doing the reinforcement things by the mindfulness techniques that I'm sharing on my channel every day. So if you wanted to start right now and you didn't want to go to a hypnotist, this is what I would do. I would start with learning how to do deep breathing. Deep breathing is the signal to the body to begin to relax. So the way I recommend to all my clients that you do deep breathing is this pattern right here. You take a deep breath in for a slow count of 3, as slowly as you can, as deeply as you can. And then you hold it for a count of 3 and you let it out for a count of 6. That's one slow breath. And then you do that 4 to 6 times. And that is one cycle of deep breathing, which should be really powerful to help you relax. Does hypnosis on the internet work as well? Yes, it does. They've actually done some studies and they found out that people who get healthcare, mental health care, and even hypnosis virtually, so they don't have to leave their home, and I'm in my place, you're in your place, can be even more effective than coming into my office. Depending on the person and what's going on with them, it's more effective. If you're a person that doesn't like to leave your home, doesn't like to travel, has anxiety, being in new places or being around new people, being on a virtual appointment is actually preferred, and it'll be more powerful for you that way. So doing hypnosis at night, I'm thinking you're asking during sleep or as you go to sleep. Those are two different things. So if you do hypnosis as you go to sleep, or self-hypnosis is really what you would be doing, it's very powerful. They started, a French pharmacist, okay, I'll deal with that during sleep. A French pharmacist named Emile Coué developed the first self-hypnosis suggestion just over 100 years ago. You might have heard this phrase before: every day and in every way, I get better and better. If you want to take that phrase and repeat it to yourself 20 times as you fall asleep every night, that is a powerful way to begin programming your subconscious mind right away, because you pass through a hypnagogic state as you go to sleep. Now, if you want to listen to something during sleep, there's not a lot of data that supports that it's very powerful. So when you're sleeping, you're not able to respond, and you're not able to really take it in. When I was a youngster in the 80s, my parents were really into subliminal tapes, and they had subliminal tapes for all sorts of things. And the idea was that you listened to them when you slept, but there's just not a lot of data that really works. So it's something you want to do right as you go to sleep. So instead of counting sheep or having anxious thoughts, you're going to want to repeat that phrase to yourself. Every day and in every way, I get better and better. Pause and just repeat it. Do it 20 times with the intention of going to sleep. It'll be really helpful for you. Now, once you get good at that, you can make up your own suggestions. You could say to yourself, I am completely relaxed and totally safe to help you sleep if you were having trouble sleeping. Or you could give yourself a suggestion for the next morning. For instance, maybe if you want to get up in the morning and you want to attack your day and go exercise, you could repeat a phrase to yourself like, I easily get up every morning and exercise for 20 minutes and feel great all day long. And you could repeat that kind of a phrase to yourself as you go to sleep. So the as you go to sleep time is a very powerful time to begin reprogramming subconsciously. What other kind of questions do you guys have? We're here to talk about hypnosis, anxiety, stress in your life. My whole specialty is really helping people go from stressed and anxious to being really daringly, dangerously self-confident. So I really want everybody to feel as powerful and empowered as they deserve. So I think the opposite of anxiety is not feeling safe and secure, but it's feeling so grounded in yourself and who you are that you are dangerously confident that people better get out of your way because you're going to accomplish that goal. You might have fear, but that's okay. You just keep on going because you feel so confident and so good. How long will it take saying that phrase? Well, everybody's different. It could be really fast. It could be a matter of a few days to a couple of weeks, or it could take longer. It all depends on, is that phrase going to the root cause of the problem. So I'm assuming we might be talking about anxiety for you, but you might have another problem. I don't know. And you don't have to put it in the chat if you don't want to. But the phrase that you give yourself, if it isn't the antithesis, the antidote of the problem, it won't be quite as powerful. And so you compounded death. I'm not sure what that means other than you're having existential crisis. You're having fear of death. So that's a deep one. Having a deep existential crisis, fear of death, or it comes from biased thinking that really began a long time ago. And so I would recommend perhaps everyone dying around me. Oh, yeah, being abandoned, being lost. Wow, that's a big one. Everybody dying around you. Ugh, well, I'm really sorry that you have that. So that's pretty complicated, and it's probably been around for a while. Let's think of a phrase you could say to yourself. Well, the truth is, I recommend everybody speak to themselves with truth, always, no matter how much we don't like it, because I believe that all of our feelings are good, even if they're uncomfortable. So that means fear is not necessarily bad if it's based on accurate perceptions. But the fear of everyone dying all around you instantaneously right now is not really based on accurate perceptions. Really, the likelihood of that happening is very, very low. So let's come up with a phrase for you right now. At night, you could say to yourself, I'm thinking, I'm buffering. You could say, I would begin with you. Do you feel that you're afraid of dying, or you're afraid of losing those around you? That's a quick question for you, if you don't mind sharing. Again, you don't have to. I could come up with an example. If you're afraid of you dying, I've lost 10 plus friends and family this year. Well, no wonder you're having fears. Those are some big life events. I would start with, I am safe, secure. And perhaps move into, we are safe, we are secure. You don't have control over whether people pass away or not, and you never did. And so having fears over that means that we feel like we should be able to control those kinds of things. Another question to ask yourself to stimulate a deeper thought is, man, these are big thoughts, Valley Girl, is ask yourself how you got here and what happens after someone leaves here. Does anything happen afterwards? Does any part of them live on? And if so, are you ever going to be with them again? The answers to those usually bring some kind of comfort. And these are big issues, and these are issues I do talk about with lots of my clients. We often talk about how you got here and what perhaps might happen to you when your body passes away, or when someone passes away, what happens? If you think if any part of them lives on, that means that in my book, you're probably going to see them again, right? So really the loss is just temporary. This is just a short time away from them. And also, are you able to receive their energy? Are you able to receive love, comfort from where they are afar, where they've moved on from? If so, you're really not alone. They're always with you, or their love is always with you. So, there you go. It popped in my brain. Their love is always with me, or their love is always with me. And you could repeat that to yourself at night. Whatever you believe in as far as your higher power goes, if you have one of those, you could say, my higher power is always with me. I trust my higher power. Something like that. What do you think of that? Do you think that would help? And pop your questions in the chat, everybody. We're talking about hypnosis, stress, anxiety, how hypnosis is so powerful for helping relieve people of anxiety and stress. And to be honest with you, Valley Girl, yes, I believe seeing them again, I received their messages, just a realization of a huge loss. Well, that is based on accurate perceptions. So part of what I do with all of my clients is we talk about the emotional operating system. So you've started that conversation, so I'm going to pick it up right there. When we lose somebody, we're supposed to feel sad. There's a natural grieving process we have to go through, and we can't replace that person. So it's normal and correct to feel sad. If we don't move through that grieving process at a healthy rate, and for everybody that rate's different, so there's no way I can exactly tell you how long it should be. But if you go, 6-8 months, and you're not feeling relief of any kind, 6 months would probably be a good time to talk to a therapist or a hypnotist, because there's probably other issues that are underlying that are making it hard for you to move on to. And I would say, I help people with stuff like this a lot. Everyone I meet, I wonder how long they'll be with me. Yeah, and that's based on your past. So what happens in life, is we come into this world and we are exactly what we are supposed to be. We come into this world and we are programmed to think and feel exactly correct, right? We have everything we're supposed to have when we get here. I believe that all of us are like little computers out of the box, right? We have all the right hardware and we have all the right software, and then life happens. So life has happened to you and a bunch of very unfortunate things have happened. And that's left your subconscious thinking that it's going to continue to happen. But the likelihood of that happening is pretty low, right? So we have to go in, evaluate how your subconscious has taken those experiences that you've been through and created beliefs surrounding them and reprogram those. So you can begin by using that self-hypnosis technique, repeating a phrase to yourself as you fall asleep. I would say, I would do a suggestion like "They are with me." I wouldn't want to invite too much spiritual people passed on to be with you all the time, but I would invite their love into your life. So I hope that helps. Answering questions about stress, anxiety, hypnosis. Those are some really deep issues, Valley Girl, that really probably deserve a more private and longer conversation, because those are just really big. Those are some big life events. And another thing that happens too is that we could be going, you're welcome. We could be going through life feeling great and then experience a life event, and that causes us to have a physical or an emotional, we get worse, right? That's what happened to me, and that's why I'm a hypnotist. I was going through my life feeling okay, not doing great, having some chronic pain, stuff like that, and then I experienced a life event with my family where we experienced our home flooding, and we were kind of homeless for a while. And hi, Patty. Oh my God. Hi. I didn't send you a message the other day, but I was thinking about you. So I experienced a life event in my life, and it made my symptoms get way worse. And I developed some serious, icky panic attacks, anxiety. And I thought, I can't get off the couch. I can't do anything. And I need to do something about this. And I found hypnosis, and I found it was so life-changing for me. I became a hypnotist because it literally changed everything. It got rid of all my chronic pain, got rid of all my anxiety, all my panic, everything. So I'm like a true believer. It changed my life. And so that's why I'm such a proponent of hypnosis. I think that if you're experiencing anxiety and you're experiencing stress in your life, it's perfectly fine and good if you need to go to therapy and maybe get some drug medication support. I am pro that because I believe that we need to support people. The pain in your body, oh, that's another really good indicator, Valley Girl, that you probably do need some hypnosis. There's probably a lot of underlying stuff. I mean, I'm guessing that the more stressed out you get, the more pain there is in your body. And eventually what happens is it becomes what we call that chronic pain, which is exactly where I was at. So hypnosis is the only thing that I ever did that made the pain better. Everything else just kind of medicated it and it got better for a time. I mean, like I took meds, I did acupuncture, I did chiropractic, I did nutritional stuff, I lost weight, I went on very selective, rigorous diets. I just did all the things. I took all the expensive nutritional things and nothing ever made it better because it really wasn't in my body. It was coming from a deep emotional place, and it was a psychological issue. So I wouldn't say that I had a mental, but I would say I had an emotional issue, right? So there's a lot of people in the world that are walking around having normal, healthy anxiety and depression, meaning that they're not really like, it's not psychosis, it's just a buildup of stress, a buildup of fear. And guess what? If we have it too long and it's too heavy of a burden, it starts to break the body down and we can get pain, or we can get rashes, or we can get headaches, or we can get backaches. So hypnosis really empties out that place inside that's holding all that garbage that we haven't processed. And so hypnosis is really great for chronic pain as well, because chronic pain always has, or almost always has, 99% of the time, an emotional component. You wish there was a thing here in Southwest Oklahoma, meaning, you know what? You can see me online. I do online virtual appointments 50% of the time, maybe more than sometimes. So online virtual medical, mental, and hypnosis appointments sometimes are more effective than in person. So everybody thinks they need to see the hypnotist in person, but you don't. It's just as effective online, in fact, sometimes more so, because you are safe at home in your own special place and you don't have to travel and have all that extra stress. And it actually sometimes makes it easier. You know, like right now, it's maybe easier for you to tell me what's going on with you just because the anonymity of the internet, and the same psychological principle happens when we do online sessions. And so it's just as powerful as. So, hey, if anybody's interested, I'll just throw it out there. You can go to the link in my bio and it'll take you right to my little links page. And there is a link to a free consultation. I do free consultations with everybody, no obligation whatsoever. And here's why: because not everybody is a good fit for hypnosis. Not everybody's problem is right for hypnosis. And so information should be free. You know, I'm not going to try and help somebody that hypnosis wouldn't be a good fit for. So that doesn't help me and it doesn't help you. So I do complimentary consultations with anybody that schedules on my website. They're about 30 minutes and it's a time for you to get all your questions answered. I bet you a lot of you have never had hypnosis. So I could tell you a little bit about what hypnosis is really like right now. That's usually a good place to start. So we've been talking about anxiety, but for a few minutes, let me talk to you about, thank you for the presents, what really is hypnosis. So hypnosis is, the definition of it is focused attention. So you have, yes, see, no, most people haven't had hypnosis, and most people don't think hypnosis first, but I think hypnosis should be the first thing we think of, because when you think about all the time and money you're going to spend trying to make your anxiety, confidence, stress better, hypnosis is probably one of the best investments you could possibly make because it's so fast and efficient. But let's get back to what hypnosis is. Hypnosis is just focused attention. That means every time you watched a really great movie or TV show and you were so engrossed in it that you missed something happening around you, like someone crunching their popcorn or someone saying your name or somebody coming in the room, you were in a state of hypnosis. So maybe not a deep state of hypnosis, maybe not as deep as you get in sessions with me, because I do it on purpose and I have special techniques to get us nice and deep, but you were in hypnosis. So you've already done hypnosis hundreds of times. Isn't that cool? You didn't even know that you'd been doing hypnosis pretty much your whole life. You know, children especially are very hypnotic and they go into really deep states of focus. Think about the last time you saw a child, maybe in your life playing a video game, how focused they were, how they didn't hear anything you said to them. That's hypnosis. So what's really cool about hypnosis and why do we use it is that when you're in a state of focused attention in hypnosis, the ability for you to change your subconscious programming is increased. So you think about, yeah, no kidding, you do feel hypnotized when you're casino because they're overwhelming you with stimulus, and so it kind of shuts your brain down and you just have to focus on one thing, like Pavlov's dogs. Exactly right. So when you're in hypnosis, either intentionally or unintentionally, like when you're just going about your day and you're driving or you're watching a movie, you are able to make subconscious change faster and more efficient. It's just a property, a special talent that the mind has. And so that's why we do hypnosis. And that's why it's so much faster than therapy and medications, which medications are great for treating symptoms and helping remove a symptom far enough away from you so you can deal with it, right? They kind of distance you from the feelings. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing when it's needed. But therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy, they don't really take advantage. They're hammering away on the brick wall of your conscious mind. And it's not very efficient. It takes a really long time to make a change. I mean, think about the last time you tried to use your willpower to make a change. It took a while, didn't it? Hypnosis, it's instantaneous. So it's really powerful. So thank you for all the hearts and all the likes. I really appreciate it. So hypnosis is really cool. It's just focused attention. Here's something else you need to know. It's not mind control. That's really important because people typically think of it as mind control. If anybody has seen that really great show, What We Do in the Shadows with the Vampires, and they are all like, they have natural vampire hypnosis, and all the funny scenes where they use hypnosis, they have it completely wrong. They just speak at people and they instantly have to but then the vampires are terrible at it. So so it's funny. But anyways, you should go check it out. I have a couple videos on my YouTube channel where I do funny reactions to bad hypnosis. So that's why that's in my brain. So where was I? Hypnosis is like ballroom dancing. It is, the word's escaping me. It is only with your permission, right? I can't make a person dance with me, right? I have to walk over to you, put my hand out and say, would you like to dance with me? And there's no dance unless you take my hand, let me lead you out onto the dance floor, and then you follow me in the steps. That's what hypnosis is like. I provide a space, an opportunity for you to, in hypnosis, think about things differently. Participate in an activity where you are able to make a change, right? It's not that necessarily you've never had these thoughts before, but in hypnosis, they become more powerful. So like a student in a classroom, you can't make them learn. You have to, as a student, you have to participate in the learning process. Hypnosis is just the same way. So it's not mind control. That's what's so great about hypnosis. You, the client, are always in control. You could reject anything I said. You could disagree with me. You could stand up and walk out of my room or sit up and turn off the Zoom meeting anytime you wanted to. Hypnosis is not mind control. It's much more like ballroom dancing. It's something that we do together. And that means you have all the power. You're the one that makes it work or not work. So first, hypnosis is just something you do naturally all the time, anytime you've watched a movie, so it's natural and safe. Two, it's not mind control. It's something that you participate in with full awareness. In fact, the third thing you would probably want to know about hypnosis is that it's not, you don't have to be that myth out there that you're tranced out and that you don't remember everything. It's totally false. In fact, I want my clients to remember what we do and what we talk about. Could I suggest that you go nice and deep and forget everything that we do? Yep, I definitely could do that, but I don't want to do that, and so I don't do that. Hypnosis is not fragile, right? So when my clients and I work together in a session and we're talking, they talk to me a lot. It's not just me talking at them. I don't do script hypnosis, right? I work one-on-one with each client to help them address their specific problem, their anxiety, their stress. So it's interactive. So think about this. You've seen videos probably, or you might have seen a live stage hypnosis show. If you have, you've noticed that people walk around and they dance around like Elvis and do funny activities, and they're always in hypnosis. Their eyes are open, they're talking. So hypnosis isn't necessarily tranced out amnesia. It is a very active state, and you can pretty much do anything you would do in your normal life in hypnosis. So my sessions with my clients are very active, very interactive, lots of talking. So we're talking about stress, anxiety, helping you become dangerously confident. What questions does anyone else have about their stress or anxiety and how hypnosis can help? Earlier, we were talking about some cool ways to do your own self-hypnosis. About 100 years ago, 100 plus years ago, there was a French pharmacist named Émile Coué, and he believed that his clients would improve and have better improvement in their medications if they believed in them more. And so he had them all practice what is now known as the very first self-suggestion, or the very first self-hypnosis, which is the phrase, every day and in every way, I get better and better, which I bet you, if you've been around long enough, you've probably heard that phrase before. Well, it came from Émile Coué in the early 1900s, and it's still a very powerful phrase. Thank you for the present. So you could use that yourself. Tonight, when you go to sleep, when it's time to shut your eyes and actually intend to go to sleep, say to yourself, every day and in every way, I get better and better. Do it 20 times, or intend to do it 20 times. You might, thank you for the presence. You might fall asleep before then, and that's okay, because what happens as a person falls asleep is they go through a hypnagogic state, or a hypnosis-like state, where their subconscious minds become very soft. So as I was saying earlier, hypnosis is a consensual thing that we do, but the reason that we use it is because it makes your subconscious mind like wet cement. Instead of set cement, like you are right now, you know, it would be hard to go in and take out some impurity in set cement. But once it's wet cement, we can go in, we can take what's wrong out, we can add a little bit of good stuff in, then we can smooth it out, and then you come out of hypnosis and your subconscious mind goes back to being set cement. So you go through that like soft cement phase as you fall asleep. So it's a really great time to give yourself a self-suggestion or a self-hypnotic suggestion. So try that, try every day, and in every way, I get better and better. Now, if you have a specific goal in your life, maybe you're feeling anxious, or maybe you don't sleep at night, you could use a different suggestion. You might try something like, I am safe, secure, and going deeply relaxed. That might help you get to sleep faster, right? Just repeat that to yourself 20 times. As you fall asleep, instead of counting sheep, instead of having anxious thoughts, and if you have an anxious thought, so what? Just say the phrase again, I am safe, secure, and going deeply relaxed. Safe, secure, going deeply relaxed, just like that. Think that I'm saying it to you in your head, but you're saying it to you in your head. There you go. Let me see. Does anyone else have something they might want to work on in their life that's not stress or anxiety that I can help them come up with a self-suggestion phrase for. So maybe you have a goal in your life, or maybe you have something going on, and we can come up with a self-suggestion phrase for you to use as you go to sleep tonight. So if you're just joining us, we're talking stress, anxiety. I am a board certified hypnotist, and I'm helping everybody right now come up with cool self-suggestions they can use as they go to sleep tonight to make their lives better. So one that you can use for stress, anxiety, and sleeplessness, this one works really good, is I am safe, secure, and going deeply relaxed. The other original self-suggestion, every day and in every way, I get better and better. Thank you for the hearts. So does anyone else have a thought, idea, a question about anxiety? Has anyone ever used affirmations before? Give me a little thumbs up if you've used an affirmation before. Affirmations are really powerful. They're just something that you use out of hypnosis. But they're still really powerful. Now, you can use any affirmation that you really like as your self-suggestion phrase, right? So you could take that affirmation that you really like, weight loss. Okay, weight loss. So it depends, right? So we have to figure out the weight control issue going on in your life. So you'd have to ask yourself, you have to be really loving but non-judgmentally honest with yourself and say, what's the deal? Am I eating too much? Am I serving myself too much? Or am I snacking between meals? Or am I eating the wrong kinds of things? I would pick one of those issues, and then we have to come up with a suggestion. So let's just say you're putting too much on your plate. Every meal. You don't necessarily snack in between meals, but you are eating too much every meal, right? So the calories are too high. Now, let me just say the caveat here is, if you're a woman of a certain age, meaning 30 to 35 or older, there's a lot of hormonal change going on in your life, and it just seems to never get better for women. So you should always make sure that you have optimized those hormonal changes. You can begin menopausal symptoms at 35. So, and we all know with the huge thing going on with Mounjaro and Ozempic and all these semaglutides and all these weight loss things on TikTok right now, what we're learning is that diets don't work because it's a hormonal problem. However, those new medications out there, I believe they really help the hormonal problems, but you could still have an emotional problem with eating, right? It's the thing that you do when you're stressed out, just like it could be cigarettes, but instead for you, it's cupcakes. So you have to figure out what it is, right? And when you're giving yourself a self-suggestion, you need to pick one thing to work on. You can't do 15 things at once. You need to pick the one thing that if you fix that thing, it would make everything better. So if you want to do some weight control, you got to be honest, non-judgmentally honest with yourself and say, where is my biggest issue? Is it that I eat too much? I eat too much at night? And then come up with a phrase, a self-suggestion phrase that is the antithesis, the positive antidote to that. So a self-suggestion phrase can't be in the negative. You know how you hear all the time that the brain doesn't hear negatives? Well, of course it hears negatives. But what happens is when I say, don't think about white elephants, it's not that I didn't hear the word don't, it just can't not think about the positive existence of a white elephant. So when you're giving yourself a self-suggestion, it needs to be in the positive. There can't be any don'ts in it or won'ts in it, because all you'll think about is the positive version of that statement. So if you wanted to say, I don't snack on M&Ms late at night, all you're going to do is think about snacking on M&Ms. So what you want to say is, I easily go to sleep at night feeling satisfied, or I easily, I feel satisfied. I'm wonderfully satisfied after dinner and easily go to sleep. And don't add any of the buts or anything like that, all right? So I easily go to sleep at night after dinner and that's it. After I finish dinner, I feel fully satisfied, and that's all I need all night long. That's a good one right there. It just came right to me. And I feel satisfied all night long, and I feel wonderfully satisfied all night long. So that might be one. If you're struggling with snacking in between meals, I feel fully satisfied every day after each of my main meals. And I feel, and I feel great. So hopefully that helps with weight loss. Anyone else? Anything else? Stress, anxiety, issues? We're coming up with some self-hypnosis suggestions for everybody tonight. Self-hypnosis is a really great way to begin. I look at it like this. We can walk around and let the world program us, make us feel anxious. We can react by just smoking more, drinking more, eating more M&Ms, or we can take control and we can decide what our programming is going to be. So what we got to do is we got to use hypnosis. It's the most powerful way. There's only 2 ways to change your subconscious programming. Long, drawn out reinforcement, like when you train the dog, it takes weeks, right? Or hypnosis, which is instantaneous. So you can start taking advantage of the properties of hypnosis right away tonight as you go to sleep. You just repeat a self-suggestion to yourself as you go to sleep. It should be positive, enjoyable. It should feel good. The original one, written a little over 100 years ago by Emile Coué, was every day and in every way, I get better and better. So no matter what you're working on, that one will work for you. So any other questions? A little sip here. My water's gone. My mouth gets dry when I talk a lot. That's my job though, right? To talk. So self-suggestion, self-hypnosis, your brain goes through a hypnagogic state. Thank you. Every night as you go to sleep, it's the perfect time to give yourself a suggestion for living that more fulfilled, more contented life. So stress, anxiety, hypnosis. Let's get back to my 20-day challenge for anxiety and stress is going on my channel right now. I'm posting a new video every day. The first one was just orientation video. 3, 4, and 4 were some mindfulness activities. You know what I did? I skipped number 2. So there is no video number 2. And then day 5, I posted just before I started this live. It is all about, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it very much. I posted it. It is a theta binaural beats video. If you've never heard of binaural beats, let me tell you, binaural beats are this really cool audio illusion, right? You listen to some music and just below the surface of that music are 2 tones. They're just steady tones, right? They don't waver in their frequency, but they're just off of each other just enough. So if you were to subtract and do some math between those tones, you would find the difference of those 2 tones, and that is the binaural beat. So when you hear the 2 tones and they don't quite match, your brain creates an illusion where it's kind of bouncing back and forth between the 2 tones, and it sounds like a beat. So sometimes it goes thump, 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 and sometimes it goes brrr. So it all depends on the frequencies, right? And so the difference of those beats creates, the difference of those tones creates a beat, and the beat is a specific wavelength, and it helps the brain do different things. So there are frequencies that we call alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and theta. And so they go from the highest frequencies down to the lowest frequencies, and these beats entrain the brain. So that entrainment means the wavelength that you are consciously in right now is probably a beta. Sometimes it's alpha if you're really relaxed. And so we listen to the beat to change the wavelength of the brain for specific positive benefits. So the video I post today is a 5-minute theta binaural beat. Theta is for deep, deep, deep relaxation, almost sleep, meditation. It would be a great binaural beat to listen to as you go to sleep or anytime you're giving yourself a hypnosis suggestion, because it automatically gets the brain into a deep meditative and probably hypnotic state. So it's really powerful and it just feels really good. You can use binaural beats to help you with headaches. They're really powerful. Theta and delta, those deep relaxation binaural beats are really great for headaches. Tomorrow I'm going to post an alpha binaural beat video. Alpha binaural beats are really good for creativity and focus, and they're relaxing, but they help you be creative. When I listen to them, they make me happy. I just feel really light when I listen to alpha. I really like the alpha waves if I'm trying to get something done but stay relaxed about it, where if I used theta, it would make my brain it's like a non-sleep rest is what theta really is. So I just love them both. There's some more videos coming later this next 20 days. So we're 5 days in now. So another 15 days, I'll have a new video every day all about anxiety and hypnosis and trying to do anti-anxiety activities. I have an idea. Why don't we do one right now? Here's one of my favorites. It's called the unwind technique. It's an anti-anxiety technique. So what you do, this works really great for my kids. I have teenagers and they get a little excited, a little stressed out sometimes, a little anxious, right? So what I trained them to do is when they're feeling negatively, emotionally aroused in a stressed out way, to take a second, go somewhere private, somewhere safe, secure, where they won't be disturbed, close their eyes. So you could do that right now. You could take a deep breath in, close your eyes, and begin to scan your body. Scanning your body to see where you're holding any tension. Just gently move your internal gaze up or down your body and look for any tension or any emotions or feelings that come up when you close your eyes and relax. Once you find one, I want you to imagine or pretend that you can see or know the direction that energy is spinning. Once you figure that out, I want you to take your hand or imagine or pretend that you're taking your hand, and I want you to unwind it. So maybe it's in your chest. You just begin to unwind it. Imagine unwinding that tension, unwinding that anxiety. As you do, things become looser and more relaxed, and you just keep unwinding until you feel better. Maybe it's going to take 30 seconds. Maybe you slow it down. Maybe it gets even looser and limper and more relaxed. Till eventually, you don't need to keep unwinding anymore. And you feel better. And then, before you open your eyes, or if you've opened your eyes, close them down one more time. Scan your body again and notice how more deeply relaxed it is. In fact, if you could give it a number, 1 to 10, now, I bet you would find that it is a much lower level of intensity than it was a moment ago or a few moments ago. Doesn't that feel better? That's the unwind technique. That's a fun one. Another thing you can do after you're done, now don't leave my live, but one of the best things to do after you do any kind of anti-anxiety mindfulness practice of any kind is go watch some cute cat videos or some little kid videos or little puppy videos or just cute little things that make you laugh, that make you happy. They're not bittersweet or sad. They're the happy ones, because what happens when we take charge and we begin to change the way we think, which changes the way we feel. We take charge of our programming. Our brain learns to respond differently. Every single time we do it, the response gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And you know what that means? That means no matter what you're feeling, you have the power to change it. No matter where you're at, you have the power to determine how you think and how you feel, which is an incredibly empowering thought, because most of us are walking around thinking and feeling that we don't have any power and we don't have any control, and life makes all the choices. But if you can choose to respond differently anytime you're having excessive or unnecessary anxiety, you are taking control of your programming, and that is only going to lead you to having just a happier and more fulfilled life. So there you go. That's the kind of stuff I do in all my sessions with my clients. So, but I do so much more. Let me tell you, I love to talk about the emotional operating system. You know, I said a little while ago, if you were here, that everybody comes into this world exactly as they're supposed to be, and then life happens and we get lots of lessons. Sometimes they're not such great lessons. Sometimes they make us feel really bad about ourselves. These lessons are sometimes mistakes and they're false. I think most people, the feelings of excessive anxiety that they have are just false beliefs. They're not true. They come from other people that give us these things, right, when we're little. So where was I going? My little ADHD brain just lost it. That's okay. It'll come back when it's necessary. What questions do you have about stress, anxiety, hypnosis? We've been talking about self-hypnosis suggestions. If you have a problem that's going on in your life, stress, anxiety, maybe relationships, weight control, put a little description of it in the chat for me, and I will help you come up with a self-hypnosis suggestion for you to start using at night as you go to sleep to help you begin to reprogram your subconscious mind. Hypnosis is a state of focused attention that we do intentionally in the hypnosis office to take advantage of the amazing properties of hypnosis. Hypnosis is a natural state that you go into all the time, but when you're in that state, your mind becomes like wet cement instead of set cement. So when you have that wet cement hypnotic state going on, what happens is you can make changes in your subconscious mind. And that puts you in the driver's seat. That puts you in charge of good. Okay, I see that. That puts you in charge of what's going on in your brain. Afraid of men after being sexually abused by my adoptive father. Okay, well, I'm really sorry, Stella, that happened to you. I cannot tell you how often is so incredibly angers me, and how sad it is that this is such a common thing. If you're afraid of men, you, based on something that happened in the past, we know reality that all men are not going to do that, right? So if you're going to use a self-suggestion phrase, what we have to do is we have to come up with a phrase that doesn't unintentionally squash your good intuition, allows you to remember what happened so that you can learn from it. I'm not saying we're going to have you constantly thinking about it. I mean, you should be able to learn from that experience, and you should be able to have an increased, better sniffer for people who are going to do crap like that, right? So what we want to do is give you a suggestion that enables you to use all of the experiences in your whole life to make your life better, and not negate the lessons you could possibly learn from that. So I would say, let me think. As you go to sleep, you could say, I trust my intuition and feel safe and secure. I'm spitballing it here. I'm workshopping it. I feel safe and secure around men, and I trust my intuition. I feel safe and secure around people and trust my intuition and trust my inherent wisdom. I feel safe and secure, because the truth is that you are almost all the time, thank you for the hearts, very safe, very secure, but your higher brain is going to tell you when you're not. There's always parts of you scanning your world, making sure you're safe. It's called the protective part, and you have one. So that part of your mind is going to tell you most of the time. Now, it doesn't mean that people never lie to us and conceal things from us, right? But most of the time, as we grow and learn, we get better and better at figuring that out. So we want you to hold on to your lessons that you've learned. So I hope that helps, Stella. Did that help at all? Am I close? Am I on the dartboard? Or do you have a suggestion how I could make that better for you? Oh, that's the one thing I don't like about affirmations, right? That they kind of get rid of your internal wisdom that you've already, you've gathered through your experiences. Putting down your own, exactly, right? So you don't want to do that. You have you went through it. You got to experience it, unfortunately, so you should be able to learn from it. I would say I'm safe and secure and relaxed, right? Because we want you to be able to relax and feel safe and relaxed and trust my intuition, so that the implication is that when your intuition is telling you something, you also will be safe and secure by vacating that relationship or vacating that place. Yay, I'm glad you like it. Thank you. You're welcome. Anyone else? Coming up with some self-suggestions. So if you weren't here before, Stella, I will tell you that one of the best suggestions written a little over 100 years ago was written by Emile Coué. He was a French pharmacist, and he wanted all of his clients to just get the very best result that they possibly could out of all the medications he gave to them. So he developed this phrase: every day and in every way, I get better and better. I bet you've heard of that if you've done affirmations before. Well, that was written by Emile Coué over 100 years ago, and it's fantastic. And it really can be used for almost anything. So if you want to use a self-suggestion as you go to sleep tonight, everybody, if you're new, what we do is you close when it's time to go to sleep, you're done reading your book, you're done scrolling TikTok, you close your eyes with the intention of going to sleep. That's when you start using your self-suggestion. That's when you begin to travel through the hypnagogic state, the hypnotic-like state as you go to sleep. So instead of counting sheep or having anxious thoughts, what you do is you repeat your self-suggestion phrase to yourself. So you could start with, every day, every way, I get better and better, 20 times. Have the intention of getting to 20 times at least, right? Sometimes you might not make it. We just came up with a phrase for Stella. I feel safe, secure, and relaxed, and I trust my intuition, which keeps me feeling confident and powerful all day long. Repeat that to yourself 20 times. And so, that original statement, I feel safe, secure, every day, every way, I get better and better. That kind of works for everybody. It's kind of like a universal thing, because everybody needs to get better and better every day. But if you have a specific thing you want to work on, one of the best phrases I use for my clients, if they are feeling anxious or stressed, or they can't sleep, is, I feel safe, secure, and I'm going deeply relaxed. And they say it to themselves like that. They close their eyes and they say, in the quiet of their mind, you don't say it out loud, I am safe, secure, and going deeply relaxed. I am safe, secure, going deeply relaxed. So, yeah. All right, well, I am going to wrap up my live in just a few minutes. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I invite you to go like my profile and then follow me on our 20-day, the 20-day anti-anxiety challenge. I'm doing a new video every day right now. If you go to my bio, there's a link to my resources page on my website that'll take you right to my Theta binaural beats video. That's 1 whole hour long on my YouTube channel. What you're going to want to do when you get there is theta binaural beats are fantastic for meditation, self-hypnosis, and just very deep relaxation. Delta is what you want to use for sleep. I don't have that one posted yet, but this would be a really great binaural beat, a really great set of sounds that you could listen to as you do self-hypnosis statements. So instead of doing it as you go to sleep, you could turn it on. You could start listening and just give yourself those suggestions. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. I wrote the one for nighttime. Good. I have bad insomnia because I feel afraid at night. I know that is so common. Do you know where I think that honestly comes from? I think it comes from when we're little. I think, whether or not we had a great childhood, we get afraid of the dark because the dark means we can't see, right? And so I can't even tell you, just so often people have just general anxiety they don't really know where it comes from, and they often have trouble sleeping at night. I will tell you another secret about insomnia, because I used to have it. It can also masquerade anxiety at night, keeping us from sleeping. It can be anger masquerading as anxiety. That's how it was for me. I don't know how it is for you, but before I became a hypnotist, I had a lot of issues, a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic, and I had intense trouble sleeping, just the worst, the kind of insomnia where I would lay down at night and instantly become like the most miserable human being and like writhe around on the bed. Like, do you ever feel like, oh, you just can't get comfortable and you're just wiggling and you're frustrated and just get angry? Well, turns out after I went through my hypnosis, my hypnotherapy, it's the kind of hypnotherapy that I do with all my clients. When I went through it, boy, did I discover that I was carrying around a lot of anger. Yes, exactly right, Stella. So, sometimes, I'm not saying that's the way it is for you, but anxiety can be the camouflage for some subconscious rage. So, how fast does hypnosis work? It works very fast. In fact, hypnosis is basically instantaneous. Yes, just like when you snap your fingers. So here's the deal. They did this really cool study in 1971, and they tracked people going through therapy, which it was psychoanalysis and hypnosis, and they had these the same kinds of problems, right? And they did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And what they came out with when they did all the numbers and all the number crunching is the average person has a 93% success rate in just 6 sessions with hypnosis, and only 78% success rate at 600 sessions of psychoanalysis. So that means hypnosis is 100 times more powerful than psychoanalysis. It's that fast. So it's like when people come into me, one session's like months worth of therapy instantaneously, and you don't leave hanging. When you go to therapy and you're like, well, we talked about it, it came up, now it's all raw. It's not like that with hypnosis. I make sure it gets the bow tied on it. Like, we put to bed the stuff that comes up. That's like the whole point. So hypnosis is basically instantaneous. One session can do so much. And my specialty is really helping people who are feeling stressed, anxious, low worthiness, get rid of all that crap they don't need and become dangerously confident. So I've done hypnosis for really bad anxiety once, and it changed my life immediately. Oh yeah, great. Awesome, Stella, good job. So if you're still having problems, it might mean that there's just a little bit more stuff going on. I don't know if you want to go back to that old hypnotist and keep doing that work. I would encourage it, because yes, if you've had good results once, that means you'll probably get more good results. Now, the great thing, I'm going to answer this next question in just a second. The other great thing about working with me, if anybody's interested, you can go to my bio. The link there will take you to my links page, which will take you to my online calendar where I do free consultations. You can just get it scheduled. But I make sure that my clients' problems don't come back 3 different ways, right? We do the one-on-one hypnosis. I educate all my clients about their emotional operating system. Just like a little computer, you have some basic programming and operating system, and you need to understand it. Otherwise, new events in your life will crop up and create new bad beliefs, right? And then the problem returns. And I teach all my clients self-hypnosis. So we're talking about self-hypnosis right now, but what I teach in my sessions is 10 times more powerful than this. It is specific to you. It deals with deep truths about existence and who you really are, and it can be used forever. And it's really powerful. So those 2 things, the education and the self-hypnosis, are how I make sure that my clients are not going to have to come back to me, because they've been empowered with all the tools and information that they need, so that they never need a hypnotist again. Hopefully they don't even need therapy ever again. So what did I miss? Can you test it? It's really interesting. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Can you test how effective the changes that are being made are? Yes. And it happens, thanks for all the gifts, guys. It happens by the changes that happen during the session. So I do work with my clients on average about 6 weeks, and they should be immediately seeing change. Now, here's the disclaimer I got to give you. This is real life we're talking about here. I can't ever guarantee that somebody's gonna get better. Just like the doctor and the lawyer can't guarantee that you're gonna get healed or that you're gonna win your case. There's just no way for me to know because I don't know what's going on inside of you. But I can tell you that my track record is really, really good. You can go to my Google reviews. I have very happy clients. So, I've done this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And my clients get really, really good results. My specialty is anxiety, stress, low worthiness, and low confidence. And I want to make sure that you never have to come back to me because that's the most ethical model, right? I don't want to create dependence. I want to create independence. I remember my body and mind couldn't understand what had just happened. That can happen. I definitely could see that after a really great session, especially the one that you described where you were having some really great changes, that the mind is in a reorganizational state. There is a lot of processing going on after a really good hypnosis session, and you could possibly feel that feeling in your body where it feels like, what's going on? So yeah, that's actually kind of normal. It's something I just can't explain, but it was so crazy in a good way. Yeah, it really is. I tell my clients that most people will come out of a hypnosis session, a really great one, and feel one of two ways. They'll feel like super energized and very, very positive, like, oh my God, I just had the best workout of my life. Or they'll come out of it going, oh my God, I just did the best workout of my life and my arms are noodles, right? It could be one or the other. They're both positive experiences, but they feel different. So you can snap your fingers and somebody will fall asleep. I could, I could, but I actually don't. I mean, I do instant inductions actually, you see on the street and they say, sleep, deeper and deeper, relax. So yeah, I do instant inductions because they're faster and they kind of feel good and they're kind of fun. It's like riding a roller coaster. So yeah, I can do that. I do it with my clients though. I don't do public demonstrations. Here's why. I would never want to create a situation where somebody thought or felt uncomfortable, like they might get made to do something they don't want to do. Now, the truth is I can't make people do anything against their will because hypnosis isn't mind control, but most people don't know that. So I don't do public demonstrations because people could accidentally get the wrong idea and feel like she's going to make me cluck like a chicken and I don't want her to. So I don't do public demonstrations. That's so that people feel comfortable with me and they trust me. So when I do events, I do several events a year. I've got this really cool VR game that we play that is an example of how just changing your perceptions changes everything. People put on the VR goggles and it's like they're standing on a plank 80 floors up, and they're not. And it's a powerful example of just changing the perceptions internally changes everything. So I don't do hypnosis, but I do VR. Anyone have any other questions? Oh, this has been so great. It's been a long time since I did a live. I don't have a schedule for my lives yet, but I would love it if y'all come back sometime because I am going to keep doing some lives this week. Hi, everybody. We've been talking about anxiety, stress. I've got a 20-day anti-anxiety challenge going on my channel right now. We're on day 5. So what I'd like you to do is, if you could, go over, follow me, get caught up on those videos, join me every day. Please do more lives. Oh my God, I would love to do that. I got to set up my schedule. I got to get organized. And when I do, I'll try to post that so that everybody knows when I'm going to go live. Today was just kind of like I'm just going to go live because I don't have a client right now. Now I'm past, it's 5:25 where I'm in mountain time zone. So I'm going to go home now and have dinner. But it was so awesome to see you all here today and interact with you. So I'm going to set a schedule and I will post it so you'll be able to know. when I'm going to do more lives. I'm going to try to make it regular and make it on a schedule so everybody knows when. Thank you all so much. It's just been such a pleasure. Here's something I'll leave you with. Remember, no matter what's going on in your life, you have the ability to change the way that you think subconsciously. And that means if you can change the way you can think, you can change the way you feel. And that puts you in the driver's seat of your life. And no longer do you have to be at the whim of life and the stuff around you to program you. You get to decide. So you can be what you want to be, what you are supposed to be, what you have the power, what you have the potential to be. So one of the best ways to do that is through hypnosis and self-hypnosis. So tonight, as you go to sleep, I challenge you to use a self-hypnosis suggestion 20 times as you go to sleep. If you can't think of anything, do this one. Every day and in every way, I get better and better. I'll say it again so you can write it down. Every day and in every way, I get better and better. So you can have a way better day tomorrow than you had today. Thank you guys so much. See you later. Go follow me. Bye. If I can turn out off.